Okay, Ralph, where's Ralph? Is he still here? I just want to say campaigns are not boring. And my campaign workers are going around right now. They're giving you stuff. Campaigns are not boring because you have bumper stickers. You have signs, right? Stand up for children, step up for kids, build a strong foundation. I want to talk to you about what a campaign means in this context and how we can make it exciting and how each of us can play a role that goes beyond sign waving and goes beyond bumper stickers, but makes it meaningful for all of us. That's what this campaign is going to be about. I'm here today. I'm the last speaker. I'm going to try to keep you awake. I'm going to try to move quickly. But I want you to come away with a plan, or at least the beginnings of what this plan can look like. When we think about the word campaign, we think about a lot of different things. One of them is kissing babies, right? But we don't want this campaign to be just about lip service for the issue of grade level reading. We also think about sometimes campaigns raising money, a United Way campaign. It's not just about raising the resources that we need, although absolutely it is about raising those resources. But the United Way also gets it right that it's about opening and joining a community, uniting behind a common theme, living united. When we think about a campaign, sometimes we think about a public awareness campaign. Who remembers just saying no? But it's not just about building awareness. This campaign is also about building engagement and making things happen. So it's not just buzzwords, it's really about coming up with a plan. Often, at the beginning of this particular campaign, things were explained as a series of battles that we needed to win. I don't really like military or gun examples, but we do know that the enemy here, we have a common enemy, that's cynicism, we've named some of the other common enemies today, and I think we can unite and form one big strategy to fight those enemies. So the campaign for grade level reading. What does that mean? And I'll tell you at the beginning, campaign's not a perfect metaphor. Who remembers the movie The Candidate, where at the end he's elected and he says, now what? This campaign is as much about implementing a strategy and governing as it is about winning the war of public opinion. So we need to remember that it's not a perfect metaphor, but it's a good metaphor for talking about how we unite around something. What I would change, if I were Ralph and I were changing the name of the campaign, it wouldn't make it any more exciting or sexier, but I would say it's not the campaign for grade level reading. Instead, this is a campaign for each and every child. I want us to think of each child as a candidate or someone we're trying to elect. And what we're trying to do is build that field team and that level of support around each child that they need to succeed or be elected, if we take the metaphor to it. Common thing. So here, this is our child. She wants to be a teacher. We want her to read. So many of you today in your talks or in our small tables talked about your own children or a child you had met. That's what I want you to keep in mind. We need to build a structure, a logic model for each one of those children. In a political campaign, this is kind of a campaign plan. Our logic model would be a campaign plan. But look at this, because what is so exciting to me about this campaign metaphor is that in a campaign, everyone has a role. And they are very roles that you can implement. From things like the campaign manager, that would be Ariane in this case, media relations, TV, volunteers and supporters, and look at all the things that volunteers and supporters can do. To database coordinator, everyone, whether you're a teacher in a classroom or a parent, or as Dr. Fitzgerald said, the yenta down the street that's home in the afternoons, plays a role for that particular child. And what I would like to do is build a campaign structure. The only way we're going to get to each child reading at grade level is to have a structure that supports each child. Each child is unique. Every political candidate looks different. But what we have in a political campaign is usually a coordinated campaign. We have a political party with some policies and principles and opposition research and all the best research and the big tent. Their job, though, is to elect each and every candidate to get to a majority or to get to 100%. And so here you have a whole lot of candidates at a whole lot of different levels. And they all have different teams and different strategies. But in the end, they're all united around a common theme. And that's what we want to get to. So when we get to all these different populations, they could all be bumper stickers. I would love for you right now, hold up your bumper sticker that you have right now. And think about that one kid that you're going to work for, that you're going to help support with a structure. Because that's what I want you to do when you think about this campaign. You can't really see this, but what I love about this slide, this is when you go, my first campaign, I was painting, I was 10 years old, and our next door neighbor was running for office, and I remember going and painting his office. That was my role. That was the way I helped. I couldn't vote, but I could go paint his office. Well, when you go and you hear a candidate speak, usually they say, here's how you can help me. Here are the things you can do. And they can be things from, I'll put a yard sign in my yard, to I'll have a coffee for my neighbors, to I'll make phone calls to get contributions, or I'll write a check myself. I'll write a letter to the editor. It's what I can do personally. Maybe it's that I have money. Maybe that it's I have the prime location for a sign. Again, when we leave here, it's how do we connect all the pieces of the things we heard today? What can you do personally? And what can you do to reach out? Sign us up. Check us out. That's what I want us to develop, and that's why I think this campaign analogy is so perfect, because everyone has a role, and all of those roles are critical for a candidate to win. You can't just, the candidate, you've seen it all. The candidate that raised the most money doesn't always win because they don't have the best ground game. The candidate with a great ground game might misspeak, have a macaca moment where they misspeak and they're not trained well, and they lose that way. So all the pieces have to fit together. And I think that's what's so important about this. If we do that well, we will get to a point where each child, each baby can read and is supported by a community that can do that. And that's when we can all wave our signs and celebrate with fireworks on the 4th of July, which is next week, and say that we made a difference. That we made a difference for each and every child in Georgia as part of this campaign. So I look forward to being on the campaign with you all. I look forward to governing and implementing it at the end of the day and continuing these successes together. And I want to thank the Casey Foundation for a great day, and thank all the speakers that have been here. I've learned from all of you and from all of our conversations, and I'm leaving with a renewed sense of enthusiasm for this work. So I want to thank you all.